Hey everybody, it's Kevin. Welcome to Kev's Vibe of the Day. I give you a little reading for the start of your day to see where we are, where you are, and hopefully something positive to concentrate on. So let's get right to the cards. All right, so as I'm shuffling this morning, we have what we consider, or what I've learned, is a jumper, which is the Focus Your Mind card. And the prayer that goes with Focus Your Mind really is thank you, angels, for helping me focus on my priorities. And so when we're talking about focusing on priorities, it's easy to get a little distracted when the world around us and the world within us and the world in other people get quite crazy. And I shared with you yesterday that I have a tendency. Let me pull this forward a bit more. There you go. I have a tendency to be a little reactive on Saturday, and that is what I now know is energy moving through the body, temporary. It goes like the weather. Um, excuse me, storm clouds. So the general meaning of focusing your mind is that the angels are able to see that there's a lot going on mentally. And when this card shows up, it's basically saying that the angels understand how it can be difficult to challenge on what's important. It might seem to you that your mind's all over the place, maybe even thinking about the worst possible outcomes of situations and digging into the negativity of it, but you're being encouraged to think about what you do want out of life, and so that your intentions, what you intend to do today, tomorrow, next week, are set to the highest outcome for everybody. Um, Sometimes we get stuck in the day to day, the up and the down. We go all over the place. It's a bit like taking a mental trip to a theme park. It becomes overwhelming. It becomes fraught with what do I do now? What do I do next? And we turn in circles. This kind of energy is frantic, fractious, and doesn't really serve the purpose. So find a moment, let go of any challenging and negative thoughts because they really aren't serving you, and refocus. Refocus on love, refocus on what brings you joy. Now let's move on to shine your light, because this talks about the love, it talks about the joy, and the prayer is thanking Archangel Uriel for helping me share my light with the world. So there are three ways of being in the angelic realm. One is gratitude, being grateful for the blessings, grateful that they're always here. Thank you. Thank you for everything, the abundance of water, of air, of life force. And then being loving, being truthful, being integrous, being authentic, being yourself, showing up just as you are, and just you as you aren't, just the way you were created to be. And then the third way is to come from a place of love. Come from a place of love, understanding, that place that we go when we get all gooey inside and it's just blissful. When you're sitting listening to some nice music and it's a beautiful day and you just feel relaxed. That's getting into the point of letting your light shine. I hope that's making sense. And of course, Uriel's name basically means God's light. So the light of God, the glory of God, the love of God is shining within you. And He's bringing the light and energy of harmony from the sun into our lives so we can feel youthful, inspired, fun, having a good time. This is the energy that helps us feel healthy and balanced, and it works with the focusing. So if you're not sure what your next step should be, Archangel Uriel and his light can come and help you solve the problems. So this would be the heart challenge, shining your light out. The heart card, shining your light out, making yourself be seen in that loving, kind way. And what you know for sure is your mind is all over the place, so you want to focus on it. Then finally, our what we're working on and the challenge, our friend. I pulled not on purpose. Archangel Orion, thank you for manifesting miracles in my world. No word of a lie. This is the third day in succession that I've done these readings where Archangel Orion has shown up. I love it because I'm now believing that this archangel is one of mine and has been and has stepped into my life where he's always been. And this is a constant reminder that wherever we put our intentions, wherever we put our mind and our focus, that's exactly where energy flows. But when you get the amplification of spirit, the amplification of an archangel, particularly Orion, the Thronans, which is Orion, Sandalphon, and Metatron, they come in droves to lift and to sort and to sift and to shape and to bring all the help that we could possibly need. It is not the time to manifest and dig into negativity. And this is where the focus seems to be going on mass. When it comes to being of service to other people, when it comes to coming from a focused, loving, kind place, we all have to experience the contrast of it, where other people are not going to be on our same place. They won't be coming at it from this loving, kind, authentic, truthful space. They are not shining their light. They've lost it. There's an awful lot of folks who are feeling like the weight of the world is resting on their shoulders, and I'm covered in goosebumps. So I've got angels like, yes, yes, yes. It is easy for the egoic mind. That's the human piece. That's the piece that goes with the territory of being in a human experience. It is easy for the egoic mind and the egoic energy to take over, to be in fear. And yes, I know that the alchemist is here, and he wants to come and talk. But before he comes in, we're going to read from excuse me, Melody Beatty's. I am yawning and I'm yawning, and it seems so rude that I'm doing it, but I'm not tired. I had a lovely, delightful rest. I did work yesterday afternoon in my yard, in the dirt, in the earth. And I loved that. It was great energy for me. It was physical energy. I was moving my body around. And what better place for me to spend time with my puppies? That's just what I love doing. So let's move to October the 4th. No word of a lie. Let the miracle of acceptance find you. Melody Beatty writes, I found this miracle in a small church in New Mexico, the Santuario do Chimayo. Is famous for its healing powers and miracles. The ground under the church, some say, is particularly holy and powerful. Crutches, evidence of healing miracles people experience. This is weird. Crutches, evidence of the healing miracles people experience there, line the walls of the church's back room. 4 years ago, a friend had sent me to the Sanctuario to find my miracle. It was 3 months after my son died. I didn't know what miracle could possibly fix my situation. Now, sitting in the back of the chapel, I knew I didn't have any crutches. The walls, I didn't have any crutches to hang on the wall, but the miracle of acceptance had healed my heart and changed my life. We may search for miracles that change our situation so we don't have to deal with the loss or feel the pain. Sometimes we get that miracle. Our circumstances change. Sometimes the miracle we get changes us. If the situation is too difficult, the loss is too painful to accept in one leap, take smaller steps. Accept what you're feeling today. Accept who you are today. Accept what you think today. Look for your miracles. Hope for the best. But when you can't change what you're going through, let the simple, quiet, daily miracle of acceptance find you. When you can't change what you're going through, let the simple, quiet, daily miracle of acceptance find you. The daily miracle of acceptance. Now, that doesn't seem much like a miracle because we're always told, since we went to Sunday school, if you went to Sunday school, since we went to church, if we went to church, the canonized religion said how Jesus turned water into wine, he walked on the water. The idea of such, for me, as a little boy, seemed odd and rather silly. I'm not really sure how else to describe it. Why so many people flocked and believed in these stories. I think it's because they got hope and they got faith and they got the understanding that anything and everything is possible if you put your mind to it. So this is what the message of today is. Focus your mind on exactly what you want. The love, the good feeling, the expansion, the acknowledgement, whatever that is. Make sure it's not steeped in some kind of falsehood, some sort of false narrative, some sort of, because somebody else has it, I have to have it. No, focus on what really, truly brings you joy, love, and miracles in your heart. And then with that feeling of greatness, with that feeling of joy, with that feeling of, my gosh, I could do anything. I've got what it takes to make things happen for the highest good of everybody. That's shining your light. And when you do those two things, the archangels of Orion, Sandalphon, Metatron, that transmute, transcend, and what am I looking for? Oh Lord, change, if you will. Transform. There you go. Anything and everything you want to have happen. Watch it just happen. Let the miracle find you. And now our friend wants to come. So I'm going to ask you to get quiet and peaceful. Bring your palms upward. That's in receiving mode. There's this idea of which side receives, which side gives. The left side, if you get tingling and you get energy on your left side, it is a kind of things coming into you, things for you to, the gifts that are coming. If it's on your right side, it's forward movement. It's time to move forward, particularly if it has to do with arms or legs, but usually it's the right side. I don't know the significance of whether or not you get your right hand tingling or your right arm tingling, or your right leg wobbling, but usually, to me, it's forward movement. Now, I'll say this before I bring in all right, no, he's like itching, doing like what to get in. I'll let him explain it. He wants to. The energy's like, so. Close your eyes down. Start your breath. Hello. Hey, everybody. Really quickly. And I know the Master Kevin just likes to play around and joke around, but he can be so verbose, so chatty. And that's a good thing. You don't want to quash it. But there is a message right here about miracles, because many of you seem to be confused. Many of you think that if life is so good, if angels are around, why am I experiencing such difficult, challenging, and hard times? Well, it is an acknowledgement that there is a balance with everything. We have to have rainy days in our lives for things to grow, for plants to get watered, for trees to get watered, for things to flourish. We have to have fresh oxygen so that the trees that put out that oxygen into the universe keep everything clean and filtered. We have to have these balances, these contrasts. And so when we talk about miracles, we're not just talking about the impossible, we're talking about what is possible. And for you, my darlings, what is possible is anything and everything you put your mind to. The challenge as you grow and you move forward in whatever endeavor you're doing, and right now there is expansion of greatness, expansion of understanding, expansion on such incredible levels that you are experiencing the contrast of people who cannot hold on, who are not able to find the light, seek the light, be with the light. There is much light coming to you. Light not just in the feeling of lightness, light in the feeling of abundance, light in the feeling of joy, light in the feeling of love, light in the feeling of the good stuff. And sometimes those contrasting feelings in so many is so heavy, so challenging, because their entire being has been steeped in the opposite, the contrast of darkness, the contrast of unfortunates, the contrast of despondency, the contrast of no possibility, the contrast of lack, the contrast of all that is not, all that is other people's fault, the blame, the shame, the guilt, the darkness. And despite many, and there have been many reminders and opportunities for those folks to lift and to lighten and to share and to move past the lure of the darkness, the lure of the debauchery, the lure of that energy with which you don't understand or align is too great. And therefore, as in light life, dark life comes, and there's an opportunity for this soul who seems to have lost the way toward the light to be realigned. And in many cases, it means the life that they have lived, which is not the best for them, will end. Now, for many of you, that seems so sudden and rather awful and difficult to fathom. Because for those of you who have the light, who see the light, who are drawn in with your compassionate feelings for others, who are empathetic, who the lighter you get, the more you feel on these loving, kind levels. For those of you that are left, there is a void and an emptiness and a grief. And I come today to let you know that miracles, the miracles of faith, the miracles of hope, the miracles of light, the miracles of love, the miracles of happiness and joy are merely a focus for you. Death of a life is the liberation of the soul and the spirit, returning to the place and the space that they have come from. It is not so dark and terrible and so awful. It is a realignment, a rebalancing, a readjustment. It is definitely healthy for that person. Indeed, all of humanity, when you came into this physical embodiment, knew it was temporary. Even the young Master Kevin knows what his demise will be, and knows when a likelihood the demise will take place, and the young Master Kevin has accepted this as part of the road to living in a physical world. It isn't scary. It isn't awful. It is just a fact of life. Now, my friends, why do I bring up such a rather difficult subject? Well, because it's simple. You have experienced this, the loss of dear ones. You have experienced this grief, and you are experiencing the grief of a lifetime, a situation, and an existence in the physical way that is no more and will be no more. And what I would love for you to do is to embrace all that has happened in your life that has been for the good, that has been for your benefit, that has been for your growth, and fill yourselves with that lightness, with that joy, with that peace. For this is what is to come. More of that. It is time for me to go. I love you, and there is much love, hope, joy, happiness, and peace right here for you always. Until next time. Bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Acknowledge yourself and honor yourself for all the goodness you bring to the world, all the love you bring to the world, all the joy you bring to the world, all the ways that people look at you and smile from the inside out. Embrace that. And then let's lift our thumb knuckles to third eye center as we bow and say namaste. Thank you, my friends. Excuse all the yawning. It's just peace within my heart, my soul, just feeling good. Until next time, enjoy your Monday, and we'll see you soon. Bye.